vowing that the sound of this bell pervades the universal Dharma realm, bringing luminous white light to the black iron perimeter of hell, removing in an instant the suffering caused by the three evil ways. A mountain of swords is destroyed, and all sentient beings enter enlightenment together. Homage to the Master Teacher, Vairocana Buddha, compassionate Lord of the lotus-form universe. Expounding the treasured verses of the sacred golden text contained within precious cases written on jade scrolls. Each dust mote interpenetrates, and the universe becomes one. Every realm is united with all other worlds. The truth is contained in the 1,095,048 words of the utmost vehicle's consummate teaching. Homage to the Avatamsaka Sutra, expounded by the Buddha. To understand the Buddhas of endless time, just penetrate this phrase. Everything is created by mind alone. The mantra of shattering hell. Namo Atashijinam Samyak Samutakutinam. Oh, Majna Baba Sijuju. Namo Atashijinam Samyak Samutakutinam. Oh, Majna Baba Sijuju. Namo Atashijinam Samyak Samutakutinam. Oh, Majna Baba Sijuju. Vowing now for the rest of my life not to give rise to extraneous thoughts, following only Amitabha Buddha. Thought after thought will constantly merge with the rays of his jade-like brilliance, each instant never leaving the qualities of his golden form. Holding a mala and bearing witness to the universal Dharma realm, empty space is but a thread, leaving nothing unconnected. There is nowhere that Rokana Buddha is not present equally. Through contemplation, seek Amitabha of the Western Shore. Homage to the great teaching master, Lord of the Western Shore, the Buddha, the Tathagata of infinite light. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. The land of ultimate bliss has 10 kinds of adornment. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. It is adorned with Dharmakara's vow, his cultivation cause. Amitabha's 48 vows. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with Amitabha's name and the brilliance of his life force. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the bejeweled images observed by the three Mahasattvas. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the peaceful bliss of Amitabha's Western world. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with bejeweled rivers running with pure and meritorious water. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with bejeweled basilicas, with halls of wish-fulfilling jewels. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with lengthy days and nights. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the Pure Land's 24 kinds of pleasures. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the 30 kinds of beneficial merit. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha, who is unparalleled in heaven or on earth. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He is also unmatched throughout the worlds of the 10 directions. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He has seen the annihilation of self in everything in the world. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. There is no one who is like Amitabha Buddha. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He can keep track of thoughts as numerous as all the dust motes in the universe. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He can quaff all the waters in the universe. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He can control the wind that fills space. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. No one can completely describe that Buddhist merit. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha is omnipresent. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Keep your thoughts on him and never forget, as thoughts probe that place of no thought, the the six sense gates will constantly emanate light of purple and gold. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha's face, like the full moon, is at the front of the hall of ultimate bliss. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. His jade excrescence and his gold form radiate through space. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. If a person call his name for only a moment, they will constantly consummate immeasurable merit. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Along with all sentient beings, I vow to enter the sea of Amitabha's great vows, and to ferry across sentient beings, so that I and others may simultaneously complete the path to Buddhahood. The sublime mantra of the original mind of Amitabha Buddha. Kanyatao Aritara Sabaha. 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 Aritara Sabaha.
Sangha, we all know that everything is created by mind alone. So let your mind bring you to our lovely temple right here, right now. We're going to start with the refuge commitments. If you have those, they're on page 7. If not, I'll lead you in reciting those. I go for refuge to Buddha, the deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the 3 jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. Now we turn to the next page, to the Heart Sutra. Mahaprajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion, from the deep practice of prajna, paramita, perceived the emptiness of all 5 skandhas and delivered all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, nor extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but prajna, paramita. Therefore the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance there is no fear. Away from all perverted views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in prajna, paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna, paramita, is the great Dharani, the radiant, fearless mantra, the utmost supreme mantra, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the prajna, paramita. Gate, gate, para, gate, para samgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, para, gate, para samgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, para, gate, para samgate, bodhisvaha. Dhamma prajna paramita hridaya sutra.
Tip it up a little bit. Great. Thank you, Uncle. Two houses. Hopefully you can see them. Your house, my house. Your car, my car. Your kids, my kids. Your shirt, my shirt. Up, down, right, wrong, kind, mean. We live in a world full of duality. It's so easy to see. It's separation. But there's a deeper reality. And that reality is our quilt here. All houses, all together, one quilt, one thing. It's our deeper reality, our emptiness quilt, we could say. We did the morning Heart Sutra, and that's a great teaching about emptiness. Emptiness is oneness, and Nothing stands on its own, the basic idea. And in this quilt, we have a shared karma. We, of course, have individual karma, but we also have group karma, Sangha karma, city, state, nation, world. And karma is not punishment. Karma is action. And we draw to us the action we need to wake up, to attain our true nature, which is Buddha nature, which is filled to full in this quilt. And this separation is not our true nature, even though it looks like that. This is where we belong. And we could call that right view or skillful view. There was a movie, an idea called the butterfly effect. And the idea is that if a butterfly flaps its wings in Hong Kong, the result is felt in Grand Rapids. That may seem a little far-fetched, but if we accept the idea of emptiness, of oneness, of nothing stands on its own, then it isn't far-fetched at all. Our cotton quilt here in those two separate houses, they're made of cotton. The cotton took a seed and from a former plant, from another plant, and it needed water and sunshine and soil and a farmer to tend it. It's made of the atoms from the Big Bang. And from that farmer, it went to a truck driver and a manufacturer and a retailer and to a sewing machine, and it was sewed together and it made a quilt, our oneness quilt. Group experiences, group karma, universal karma. I have drawn the experience of this Sangha, the karma of the city-state nation. My existence is significantly different than somebody from Saudi Arabia, let's say. But it's all one experience, ultimately, all one quilt. There's this wonderful story in a book called A New Pair of Glasses. There's a tennis player, and he's exploring the idea of oneness. And in the middle of a match, it occurs to him that if he rooted for his opponent as much as he rooted for himself, he could double his fun. Now, he comes from a very competitive environment, just like all of us. It's all about competition and winning. But he decided if he could really do that, that could demonstrate an idea of oneness for him, and he could really have a great time. And it took him a while, and he accomplished it. And tennis became a much more fun game for him. Now, if you Detroit Lions fans could do that, Sundays would be a lot more fun. So he stepped beyond the reality of one side of the net, the other side of the net, and he came to the oneness, to all of it. You guys might be a little surprised, but I was a little hippie. When I was in college, I had a dear friend, Robert Allen. And one night, we partook of some mind-altering herb. I don't suggest it, but it certainly worked at the time. For we were discussing God, and we went on and on and on about God, and we both absolutely did not embrace the God that we were brought up with, the big man in the sky with the gray beard. So we kept exploring this, and I don't know who came up with it first. Maybe both of us did it at the same time. But we said, God is us. It's all of us. It's everything. It felt revolutionary to have that feeling. And it, I thought, went with the times. Another story of oneness is a dear friend of mine, Henry Vasquez, and I were responsible for presenting every week to a interfaith group something about a different religion, and then we facilitated discussion. Henry and I loved this endeavor, and we were really interested in various religions and also physics. And we read several books that talked about the multi-world theory, many worlds. So anyway, one day we're talking about God, and one of us comes up with the idea of God is zero. Now, the reason we came to that is everything else, every other number can be chopped in half, and that half chopped in half, and that half, and on and on and on to infinity. But you can't cut zero in half. And zero holds everything together, holds mathematics together. So that idea of non-duality goes right along with what my teacher loves to say. 0 degrees of separation. Here, in this unnatural place, separation. Here, in our emptiness quilt, unity, oneness, 0 degrees of separation, the emptiness quilt. We could say the emptiness quilt is God. No, wait a minute. We don't pray to the quilt. But if you accept the idea of oneness, that it's everything, this is the place to live, we can find a lot of comfort in that. Back to my old hippie days. Well, I hear a lot of people now, today, saying that it's worse than it's ever been. Our political climate is worse than it's ever been. Racial tension, racial violence, all of it's worse. I don't know. No way to absolutely define that, but I know that when I was a kid, our nation was on fire. 4 kids dead in Ohio by the National Guard. Riots all over the place. The result of Martin Luther King being assassinated, there was such tension and hatred. I hated Nixon. He was deceitful, disgusting. He represented the man. I certainly wasn't practicing what I had discovered with Robert Allen, that idea that we are all one. And when I say we are all one, and that everybody is here in this quilt, Nixon, Trump, Pelosi, Whitmer, all the cops, everybody is in this quilt. But that doesn't mean that we accept bad behavior from some of these people. We work toward the bodhisattva ideal. We work toward compassion and love. And we don't accept bad behavior, but we realize that it's all wrong. One thing I learned in Al-Anon, which is for friends and families of alcoholics, early on they said to me, hate the alcohol, not the alcoholic. That's a little radical. Hate is a rough word, but don't take it personally is another way of looking at things. Karma makes no mistakes. Buddha nature makes no mistakes. We have the exact president that we're supposed to have, the exact governor, the right Senate, the right, unfortunately, it's hard to say this, but the right cops. We are drawing to ourselves what we need to wake up. Now, I can't say specifically that incident is because of this need, but the overall need is that we're all one and we need to jump into this quilt and be who we really are. There's a Shin Ming verse. It's a little poem of 25 phrases, and it's basically the essence of Zen. It's quite profound. And one of the stanzas goes, when the fundamental nature of things is not recognized, the mind's essential peace is disturbed to no avail. The way is perfect as vast space is perfect, where nothing is lacking and nothing is in excess. The fundamental nature of things. Not here. Here. And when it's not recognized, the mind's essential peace is disturbed to no avail. When we're trying to live in this duality, we're not at peace. The only place we'll have peace is where we acknowledge our shared Buddha nature. And there's nothing lacking and nothing in excess of this. So you might be wondering, well, does all this really help me in my daily life? For me, when I can get out of all the news and all the anxiety that brings on, and I can get to this place, even for a few moments in meditation and in calmness, I feel better. My life goes better than when I'm doing battle here, doing peace here. So where do you want to live? In fear or in love? Prepare yourselves for meditation. rebel. So one thing I don't think I said very much in this talk, and that is it's titled Right View and Oneness. This is right view, just in case I hadn't made that clear. The quilt is the right view. So we'll end with the three gathas. I can do it for you. Yeah, all right.
What do we say? For all unskillful actions ever committed by me since of old, on account that my beginning was free, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for it all. Vast is the robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddha's teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to penetrate. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain. Thank you, Sangha. Here, see, we have some messages. I can get them here. You got them. Okay. Brian, good morning. Kate, howdy. Susan, good morning, Sangha. Oh, yeah. I got my head chopped off here. Chris Schindler, good morning. Maxim. David Maxim. Michael Dewey, good morning. I said good morning. Pro says good to see you all. Barbara Olson. Hoping Naja. Oh man, I'm gonna mess up his name. Hoping you all have a lovely morning. I apologize deeply. N-I-Y-A-H. Ellen and Pete, good to have you guys here. Morgan and Lancy, good morning. John Petit. Let's see. Brian, choosing love over hate is dualistic. Conscious preference. Okay. Oh, could it be that love and hate are two squares of the same quilt, along with every other feeling? That was one part of I went away from the script, and there was one part that I missed, and that was a theory or a practice of Carl Jung. He came up with the idea of the shadow, that every person has a dark and a light side, the shadow. So you can be kind and you can be mean. You can be generous and you can be stingy, and on and on. There's always a balance there. And then it's the old story of, well, which one is you? Which one is the boss? And it's the one that you feed, the angel and the devil, or
however you want to say that. It's an old Indian story about the gray wolf and the black wolf. And it's what you choose to cultivate. But it's all there. It's all in the quilt. Hitler's in the quilt and all his dark side. Mother Teresa is in the quilt and all her light side. But they both had them. It's just that one fed one and the other fed the other. Any other?
Starting here, over down, Kate, thank you, Barbara.
Yes, Kate. Barbara Olson. Good to see you. Susan, hard to hear, the microphone must be behind you. Oh, okay. All right.
It was.
Alicia, yes, it was. Okay. I think that's it. Thank you, Saga. We'll see you next Sunday here again. Have a blessed week.